The Compass and Cherokee are very different vehicles. I mean, for example, the Cherokee is literally over a foot longer than the Compass. We'll go over everything in today's comparison. The Jeep here in Heber is providing us with both of these vehicles. Let's get right into it. Powertrain Compass is a turbo 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 23 around town, 31 on the highway, with power outputs being 200 horsepower and then 221 pound-feet of torque. The Cherokee is powered by a turbo 1.6-liter 4-cylinder paired to an EVT and a hybrid system. Fuel economy is 39 around town, 35 on the highway, with power outputs being 210 horsepower and then 230 pound-feet of torque. If you're looking for more straight-to-the-point comparisons like this, make sure you subscribe. Now, front-end feature-wise, they have all the same equipment, headlights, fog lights, all of that. But design is quite a bit different. I would say that the Compass is boxy, but not nearly as boxy as the Cherokee. I mean, look at the hood on the Cherokee, for example. It's just a lot larger, but then also a lot flatter looking than the Compass. So the Compass tire and wheel setup is 225 by 55 by 18. With the Cherokee, it's 225 by 60 by 18, so a little bit more tire with the Cherokee compared to the Compass. Funny enough, both of them have blacked out mirror caps, but then you'll notice the Compass regular door handles, whereas the Cherokee has the gimmicky electronic door handles. Like I said at the beginning, the Compass is a much smaller vehicle. It's over a foot shorter, and it's just shorter in general, like it's little bitty guy. The Cherokee, on the other hand, yeah, it's the larger sibling, and this looks a lot less Jeep-like compared to the Compass, funny enough. Now, the back of the Compass, the seat folds down as flat as can be, and storage space, I mean, it's a more compact vehicle, so it's not massive, but it's still very usable. Got a little bit more storage underneath, and then this is for the hatch to open and close that via power. Seat folds down flat in the Cherokee, and I mean, it is massive back here. It just goes on and on forever, so way more cargo space in the Cherokee compared to the Compass. And then you got more storage underneath the load floor there. And then again, that is power. Now the Compass with the back end pretty rounded off. You can see even the taillights are kind of a little bit more round with the design. And then the back end of the Cherokee, I mean, it's literally a box. So, like I said, it's boxier. And hopefully this angle will kind of show you the size difference between the two vehicles. The Compass is a bit smaller. In the back of the Compass, pretty good legroom back here. Got some vents, USB ports. Actually have good headroom here in the back too. And then the seats themselves, they have this kind of like cloth trim in the center with this one. Now the back of the Cherokee, surprisingly, like I don't feel like I have that much more space. I think most of the extra space goes to cargo. But anyways, we do have some vents, some USB ports here in the back. Quite a bit more headroom actually. And the seats are a little bit fancier with this particular Cherokee compared to the Compass. Yeah, the door panel, everything's just weird in this car. Blind spot monitoring at the front of the Compass, a little bit of soft touch trim here down below as well. We've got all of our window controls, front two are automatic. And then the seat here, power adjustable for the driver, it's manual for the passenger. Getting in, I think it's pretty easy. Little traditional push button. Gauges are partially analog, partially digital with the Compass. And then again, the steering wheel, it's normal, it's round. It's got radio controls in the back, cruise control, all of that. And we just have a regular old backup camera with it. And the infotainment system is kind of like a tablet on the dash, but I mean, it's fine. Response time's pretty good. We've got a bunch of physical buttons down below for dual zone climate, for example. Trigger buttons for auto stop start. It says a regular shifter, which I like. It's also got some drive modes. You got 4-wheel drive lock, some cup holders. Not super big center console, kind of teeny weeny. We do have some soft touch there on the top. And like I said earlier, no center for anything like that. Blind spot monitoring for the Cherokee, and again, very straight lines. This interior feels very Hyundai-like. That's kind of what it's reminding me of, even like the controls. It's interesting. Anyways, we've got the seats perforated down the center, power adjustable with that. And then getting in, I mean, even like controls here on the side, button to release the hood latch, it's kind of weird. And then the stop start button, funky. On the front passenger, oh, it's power actually. So the Compass was manual, this is power. Full digital, look at that. The steering wheel, it's not a circle. They had to reinvent the wheel and make it a weird, kind of like a hexagon. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, octagon, I guess. Good thing I counted. Yeah, adaptive cruise control, line centering, and all of that fancy business. Just a backup camera with this one. The screen is pretty quick to respond. It's better integrated into the dash. I mean, you can see it's like actually part of the dash. And then you have these weird kind of like buttons down below for the rest of the climate. Dial shifter with this, got the drive modes with that, got your auto holds, off-road cruise. storage here. Little phone charging pad. Nice trim on the top. And you got that boxy design, good headroom. The Cherokee is about $41,000. The Compass is about $38,000. Let's take them out and see how they drive. Let's set off in the Compass. This is gonna be kind of awkward getting out of here. I probably should have done the Cherokee first. Now that now that I'm seeing how weird this is gonna be getting out. At least this is a small vehicle, right? The small stature of the Compass is going to come into play so that I can get through. Oh no, that makes it even worse. We no longer can get through, so well, I guess we're gonna have to like double back out once I get straightened out here. That guy will not move, I can assure you. That's, I guess we're like, half the review is going to be the turning radius of this new Compass. Man, should have done the Cherokee first. And now finally, we have a tight squeeze at the end. Very tight squeeze. Good to go. Good to go. Yeah, these powertrains are going to feel completely different. They are very different. But also, yeah, it's interesting the power figures are so close to each other. And I mean, I wonder if the acceleration is going to feel any different, because this is going to be, it's being a smaller vehicle, so it's like, has a little bit less power, but it's just smaller. We'll have to see. Definitely more of a traditional setup, right? Just a torque converter automatic. I mean, it's a turbo engine, which is, turbos are kind of a little bit more modern. But yeah, torque converter with a gas engine. Whereas that's ECVT, right? They call it an EVT, but it's same. I gotta say, people up here got no, like, hurry to cross streets. I've been doing a few reviews today up here, and there's been several people that just randomly walk across the street, and they're not like, man, down in like Salt Lake County, Utah County, it's like run. They run across the street because they know it's like, hey, we're going. People up here though, they just like leisurely walk across. It's like you're jaywalking. And I'll be honest, I don't really care if people jaywalk. It's just like, be quick about it. Be quick about it. Transmission's quick. It's quick overall. Seems like it's got pretty good power for being a little 4-cylinder. Again, in this it doesn't feel bad, but it's like when you put this engine in the Grand Cherokee, I know it's kind of a different engine, different power outputs and everything, but yeah, it's just very different. This feels like a Jeep-ish. You know, obviously it doesn't feel quite as Jeep-like as a Grand Cherokee, or especially like a Wrangler or Gladiator, but it still has a lot of the Jeep stuff in it, and I want to emphasize that before we go into the Cherokee, because that new Cherokee does not feel like a Jeep anymore. It really does feel like, it almost looks like the new Hyundai Santa Fe too. It feels like a Hyundai. It's weird. It's a weird direction they're going in. It's pretty peppy. I think it's got good power for what it is. So that's the Compass. It's a little unibody thing. Let's go pop into the Cherokee. See how that gets about. We now have a clean Cherokee. It happens like this sometimes, where it's like I just finished a video and then the cars get, the car wash crew comes through. I've never actually, I should talk to these guys sometimes, because I see them at the dealerships all the time. Anyways, I mean, this is nice. Like, it's got, I'm pretty sure this has double pane up front. No, it doesn't. Neither of them have double pane at all. It still seems more insulated somehow. It's got like a nice interior. It definitely feels a bit more luxe in certain ways, but it's also just, like I said, it doesn't feel like a Jeep. Looks kind of like a Jeep, kind of. And then, I mean, this powertrain's like straight up Toyota-ish feeling-ish. It's like a mix between Toyota and Hyundai, because Hyundai does the turbo hybrid 4-cylinders, but then they'll do like they won't do an eCVT they do like a 6-speed automatic. And then Toyota does eCVTs, but they do NA hybrids. So it's kind of like this weird mix. I think the suspension on the Compass might have been a little bit better, surprisingly. Which isn't bad, but it seems like it kind of moves a little bit more for some reason. Not sure what that's all about. Powertrain's definitely smoother, because you basically have the electric power, and then by the time you have the turbo torque come on, the electric power is kind of tapering off a little bit. So I think it creates a smooth power delivery. Yeah, I think it's super smooth. Acceleration seems pretty good too. I wouldn't say it feels any slower. It doesn't necessarily feel any faster. It's kind of like more immediate because of the electric torque. I actually kind of like this a little bit more in terms of the drive. Just for daily driving. See, the Compass, I think I would be more like excited about the Compass if it wasn't so expensive. And I think it's the problem is, I mean, this is more expensive than the Compass. It's not cheap by any means. It's just not that much more expensive than the Compass. It's like a little bit interesting dynamic with the pricing. Interesting dynamic. So yeah, the Compass is a smaller vehicle, but has a bigger engine. Isn't that funny, right? It's technically a bigger engine, a little bit. I actually like how the Cherokee drives. I just don't know. I mean, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait and see how I feel about this over time. It just doesn't feel like a Jeep. And maybe when I review the Trailhawk version that's gonna come out a bit later, I'll kind of change my mind. But with this standard limited version, it's a nice car. It's just, like I said, it looks and kind of feels like a Hyundai in a way.